Assalamu alaikum viewers. In this video, we will study about balanced and unbalanced chemical equations. First, let's study what a balanced chemical equation means. A balanced chemical equation is that type of equation which contains equal number of atoms of all the elements in the reactants and products. Let's take an example to understand balanced chemical equation. Zinc reacts with sulfuric acid, dilute sulfuric acid to form zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas. Let's count the number of the atoms in the reactants and products. You may say the number of zinc atoms in reactants and in products. Here the number of zinc atom in the reactants, that's 1, and on the product side the number of zinc atoms, that's also 1. Let's count the number of hydrogen atoms. In the reactant side the number of hydrogen atoms, that's 2, and on the product side the number of hydrogen atoms is also 2. Let's now count the number of sulfur atoms. The number of sulfur atoms in the reactant side, that's 1, and on the product side that's 1. Let's now count the number of oxygen atoms. In the reactant side the number of oxygen atoms, that's 4, and on the product side the number of oxygen atoms is also 4. So you see, in this equation, if we see the number of the atoms of the different elements in the reactants as well in the products, they are equal. Zinc in reactant side we have 1 atom, and on the product side we have also 1 atom. Number of hydrogen atoms in the reactant side, that's 2, and in the product side that's also 2. Number of sulfur atoms in the reactant side, that's 1, and in the product side that's 1. The number of oxygen atoms in the reactant side, that's 4, and on the product side that's also 4. So the total number of atoms on the reactant side as well on the product side, or you may say on the left hand side of the equation or on the right hand side of the equation, that's equal. So it's a balanced chemical equation. On the other hand, the unbalanced chemical equation is that type of chemical equation which contains an unequal number of atoms of one or more elements in the reactants and the products. Let's take an example to understand this point in detail. For example, hydrogen that reacts with oxygen to form water. Let's count the number of hydrogen atoms and number of oxygen atoms in both the reactants and products. In reactants as well as products. On the reactant side, the number of hydrogen atoms, that's 2, and on the product side the number of hydrogen atoms is also 2. Let's count the number of oxygen atoms now. In the reactant side the number of oxygen atoms is 2, and in the product side the number of oxygen atoms is 1. So in this reaction we see that the number of hydrogen atoms, that's equal, but the number of oxygen atoms, that's unequal, because there are 2 oxygen atoms in the reactant sides while there is only 1 oxygen atom in the product side, or you may say there are 2 oxygen atoms on the left hand side of the equation and there is only 1 oxygen atom on the right hand side of the equation. So it's an unbalanced chemical equation. Hope you have learned from this video, and do not forget to subscribe the channel.